Wow, this is cool.
I've heard so much about this city. What's up guys, welcome back to Ride the Bean. Today I'm waking up in a campsite a little bit outside of Ghent. And unfortunately Marion is not with me anymore and I'm on my own again. So today I thought I would visit a city that I haven't been to before. Bruges or Bruges or however you pronounce it. Because I heard there was an interesting coffee shop there and yeah, I haven't been there, so let's go check it out, see if we can explore the city a little bit before I start riding north again towards Norway. For the last couple of days I have stayed with a couple of friends, Rob and Steen, who I met in Africa, who are building their own house here in Belgium. We've been just hanging out and yeah, just chilling basically. But an interesting thing, Steen's dad is a bird catcher. So he catches birds and rings them and logs them in a database.
Oh,
That was really, really interesting to learn about.
so pretty. Wow. That's beautiful. Oh, mira. That's a breeding bird from here. Eh? Wings are open. See?
Yeah.
And I put it around the leg and then I put them closed. Voila.
That
Sure.
is fascinating.
And there's a number that's like your ID card. It's the only number on one ring. And there's also the country where it's ringed, Belgium. Brussels. And you can see it's an adult because the feathers are not worn. You see? It's like your clothes. If you wear your clothes very long, they are worn. This is also, see? It's not fresh.
Right.
When it's a young bird, it's very fresh. And also the tail feathers, you see, they are not beautiful. Eh? They are used all the season. So it's an adult bird. It's more than 1 year. How many years, I don't know, but it's...
How can you tell that?
By this bird you can't... I can tell it when over 5 years I catch it again. I know it's minimum 5 years. Another species that's just the same as this. It looks just the same like this. It's rietwarbel. Rietwarbel? Nee, dat is rietzanger. Ofwel, kleine karakiet. The only difference is the song, but you don't sing in your hand, and the measurements of the wing. The rietwarbel had a short wing, and on the second pen, this is the first one. You don't see it anymore, it's very worn. Here is a very little one is the first one, this is the second one, and he has a bending. By this species it's short, and by the other one it's long. So by taking measurements you can say it's a rietwarbel or it's a marshwarbel.
It's rietwarbel.
Yeah.
It's always fun to learn about new hobbies and activities. And birds are awesome. It is a little bit strange to be alone on the bike again. Like, you get used to having the extra weight and the extra person to talk to and all of this, and then when I'm alone again, it's always a transition period. It's a little bit strange.
Wow, this is cool.
Huh. The entrance to the city. Alright, so welcome to Bruges. I've heard so much about this city. The name actually stems from Nordic languages. In Old Norse or Icelandic,
Brygge is a pier, and the walls here and the fortifications here were built back in the day to keep Vikings out, actually. So the Vikings were really interested in this area, and I guess that's where the name comes from. It stems from basically the pier that was here. It was a trading post, and the story of this city dates back to before the Roman Empire. There was a group of people living here that was invaded by the Romans that kept it for a few hundred years, and then Spain ruled here for 100 years or so, and then so it was called the Spanish Netherlands. Belgium and the Netherlands was one country called the Spanish Netherlands, ruled by the Spanish king. But he was a Catholic, and most people here were Protestants, and so they revolted, and Napoleon controlled this area for some time, and then when Napoleon lost, and after the Treaty of London, it was decided that the Netherlands would rule this part as well, but the local people did not like that, so they revolted against the king, and it was it 1830 that it became an official country, sovereign country, and King Leopold I became the first king in 1931, I believe. And then you had the next king, Leopold II, who was really interested in the Congo and sort of raped the Congo. There's a very, very interesting history of this country and this region, and this city in particular. It was like it was a very rich merchants city. I don't really know where I'm going now. I'm just riding around. I was looking for the coffee shop, but it was closed, I think. Is there any other coffee shops here? That's nice to do a little bit of a ride through the city, though. Motorcycle tour of Bruges. I guess this is the main square. What's going on here? Wow. Huh. That is pretty impressive. I think this is one of the major tourist cities in Belgium. Probably more tourists than locals here, because of its medieval architecture and the look of the city. It attracts a lot of tourists. And apparently here it is common for the locals to start their morning with chocolate. So like the French go to the bakery and get a baguette every morning and a croissant, the inhabitants here go to the chocolatier every morning to get their daily chocolates, I heard. Is that true? Can any locals confirm? That's kind of cool. It's a very quaint, cozy little city. Or it's not that little, but huh. This must be a replica of the old school windmills. That's really cool. Or maybe it is an old school windmill. Huh. This is a really pretty city. What's down here?
So welcome to Brugge, or Bruges, and this medieval city is incredibly fascinating. Before we start exploring it, let's have a coffee. And I heard there's a coffee shop here called I Love Coffee, which sounds very promising. So let's check it out. Thank you.
Here you went. Enjoy.
It's a Kenyan coffee. Bruges has quite an interesting history. It dates back all the way to the Roman Empire and even before that. And the town square where I'm standing now is sort of the center of the city ever since the Roman times. And the Romans built a road that also ended at this square. And the city layout, all the main streets lead to this square. And the golden age of Brugge was in the 14th century. between the 12th and the 14th century. A lot of merchants came here, and the Burgundy family moved here, and with them they brought a lot of artists and merchants, and they created strong merchant guilds, ensuring high quality on all the products that were produced here. But then in the late 15th century, all the trade moved to Antwerp, and Bruges became sort of a slightly desolate and poor place. And for a long time, it was kind of a poor city, and it fell into sort of disrepair for a little bit. But then when Belgium became its own country in the 1830s, they rebuilt the city, or not rebuilt because it was never destroyed. They just cleaned it up a little bit and made it more inviting. And at the same time, they built a railroad here, leading into to the city center, almost. And again, Bruges became more of a hub for people. And one of the things that makes Bruges stand out is the medieval architecture. Luckily, Bruges was saved from bombing during the World Wars. Belgium was a neutral country, but Germany didn't really care about that, and so they invaded Belgium. But one of the generals got the order to bomb Bruges, but he refused because it was such a beautiful city. And because of this guy, the city still has kept its medieval look. And because the city is so well preserved, still today there are laws about how reconstruction of the buildings and how new buildings needs to look, so that the city keeps its medieval feel.
Well, this was an interesting, cool gate. Interesting visit to Bruges. I wish I had a little bit more time here to explore and to learn about the history of this place. But I gotta get back on the road and head north. Since I'm this close to the ocean now, I figured let's head towards the ocean, because a little bit north of here there is kind of an interesting place, I think, or a place with some interesting engineering that I would like to see. I've seen some documentaries about it before. Oh, the bridge is up. Okay, cool. Here we go. And we are out of the city. Finally. The city is surrounded, it used to be surrounded by a wall, but that's no longer here. But I think there are 4 of these medieval gates. It's a really cool gate. This city is really beautiful. And it's really interesting to walk through it, because you really feel the history here. And as I've come to understand, the history of this city is very significant for Europe in general, and there's so many stories to tell from here. I gotta come back here at some point. Now let's head to the Netherlands to have a look at some interesting engineering. These are gates blocking the sea, like surge protection, blocking the sea when there's high tides and storms, so that the inland does not get flooded. I've seen a lot of documentaries about this place, and it's quite interesting. Like this technology that they use here. It's pretty impressive that they built a man-made structure, man-made moving structure that can prevent the ocean from flooding the land. That's pretty incredible. How the hell do you control the ocean? It is very windy here. It's a really fascinating place. How many windmills are there here? So many. Yeah. So windy that even the birds are staying still. They can't even move forward. I find it really fascinating how Netherlands and part of Belgium, well, have managed to drain the land over many years. But they've drained so much that it's actually a livable space now. That sort of used to be just marsh, or mostly underwater. That's kind of incredible that they managed to do that so long ago. That's really impressive. These beaches are beautiful. Kind of wish I had a kite now. Perfect for kite surfing. Well, that was interesting. That was cool to see. Now I think I'm just gonna head towards Amsterdam again. So I think I'm gonna go and find a place to sleep there tonight before I continue tomorrow. Amsterdam is a nice city, but it's confusing to drive in, I think. There's all these canals and everything, and then all the bicycles everywhere. And the metro or the public transportation system in the middle of the roads. It's just really confusing. Now, let's see. I think it's this one. Hotel Anne-Marie.
I managed to check in, but this room was not the best, and the service and the reception was terrible. Yeah, I did not like this place. I don't even have a place to charge, which was why I booked it. But at least it's right next to the Van Gogh Museum, so that's cool. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you did, give me a thumbs up, click subscribe and ring the bell if you want to see what I end up doing next. But tomorrow I think I'm gonna head further north. I'm thinking of heading towards Groningen, but we'll see. But now I have to start heading back to Norway because I have some plans there too that I have to get back to. So I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.